Hello everyone, this is Dr. Noor Nigar, and today I am going to discuss and summarize the lesson Give Us a Role Model by APJ Abdul Kalam. About APJ Abdul Kalam, Abul Fakir Jainul Abidin Abdul Kalam was born on 15th October 1931 in Rameshwaran in Tamil Nadu. He has been popularly known as the Missile Man. The Wings of Fire and The Ignited Minds are his well read books all over the world. He was honored with Bharat Ratna and many prestigious awards. He was the 11th President of India and died on 27th July 2015. A brief summary of this lesson. In this lesson, APJ Abdul Kalam tells us why he likes to meet young students. Next, he goes on to give his opinion on spiritualism and materialism. In this lesson, he discusses 11 questions he was asked by students during his interaction with them in various states. Actually, he was asked hundreds of questions by hundreds of students. However, these are the questions that he found interesting and worth mentioning. Now, in this lesson, he talks about role models. He talks about who terrorists are. He talks about why we must dream and the vision of connecting rivers. He also tells us who the first scientist was and who is a biggest enemy. He also speaks about Agni missile and many other things. Let's find out. So, first thing, he starts the lesson by telling why he should meet young students in particular. We all have seen APJ Abdul Kalam, he loves interacting with young students. And now, in this lesson, he tells us the reason. First, he wants to tell the students that the young children that they deserve good things of life. These good things, the and all the benefits that God has bestowed or God has gifted or God has given. So children deserve good things. They deserve good things of life and all the benefits that God has given us. He wants to make them responsible and enlightened citizens by making them believe that they are worthy of being citizens of a developed India. So young children should start believing that they are worthy enough to be a citizen of a developed India, and hence he wants to make them a responsible and enlightened citizens. And then he goes on to give an example of the people of developed nations, the G8, the great eight countries which are developed. Now he says the people of these countries for ages, for many generations, believed that they must live a good life in a strong and prosperous nation. And gradually, their aspirations turned into reality and their countries became developed and prosperous. And hence, the children of India, the people of India, should also believe that they are worthy of a developed nation and they deserve a good life and they deserve to stay in a strong and prosperous nation. And that is how our nation, our country can also become strong and prosperous in near future. And again, he continues why he wants to meet young students because he wants to know the dreams of these young children who are the future of our country. And he wants to tell them that it is perfectly all right to dream of a good life, to dream of an abundant life. Prosperous, abundant means to have plenty, or prosperous life where you have everything that you want, a life full of pleasures and comforts. So he wants to tell the young children that children, Dream of a good life, dream of an abundant life, dream of a life full of pleasures and comforts. And also, these children should work for that golden era where people have comfortable life, prosperous life, good life, and abundant life. They should work hard to achieve that kind of a country, or that kind of a life, or that kind of an era or time where people have this kind of a life. And they must do things from their heart. So he wants to tell the children, don't do anything under force. Do things from your heart, the things that you like, enjoy the thing that you do it from your heart. And also, he wants to tell the children to express their spirit. So whatever is inside them, very openly and freely they should express themselves. And if they are happy, they can spread love and joy around themselves. So only when they do things from their heart and they express their spirit, they can spread love and joy. Next, APJ Abdul Kalam goes on to give his opinion. He goes on to give his opinion on spiritualism and materialism. So he refers materialism as abundance, plentiful. Okay. He says abundance and spirituality are not conflicting, or they are not incompatible, because for ages we all have been told that materialism and spirituality are two different things. They cannot uh, stay together. If you want spirituality, you have to shun materialistic things, and if you want materialistic things, that means you move away from spirituality. But APJ Abdul Kalam, he doesn't believe in such ideologies. He says that it is absolutely not wrong to desire material things. So you can desire material things. Now he leads a very minimalistic life. APJ Abdul Kalam, all through his life, has led a very minimalistic life. He never had a very comfortable or prosperous life. He didn't own a lot of property or wealth. He gave away whatever he earned to people. However, though he himself led a very minimalistic life, he admires abundance, because when you have plenty of everything, it brings along with it security and confidence. So, a person who is secure and confident, he can never lose his freedom. This helps in preserving, in keeping our freedom. So it's good that people should have abundance of everything, and that helps in preserving our freedom. Abundance is found in nature, and it is found in universe. So he gives example of nature, that when in the season, in the spring season, you visit a garden, you see plenty of colors, flowers of different colors, of plenty of colors. And when you look at the universe, it is infinite, the abundance. So he talks about abundance. And then next, he refers to spirituality as spirit and materialism as matter. And he says how in this universe, the spirit and matter coexist. And hence, there should not be any conflict between spirit and matter, that is, spirituality and materialism. So, world is a representation or embodiment or manifestation of energy. So, what is this world? It is a form of energy, and we all are part of this cosmic energy. Therefore, spirit and matter are both part of our existence. So that's why spirit and matter are in harmony with each other. They can coexist, they are in harmony with each other. So it is absolutely okay. It's not at all shameful, or it is not non spiritual to desire materialistic things or material things. So he wants to tell the children, desire of a good life, comfortable life, materialistic things, abundance, because that is going to help us retain our freedom. That is what is going to help us have a golden era where everybody is happy and prosperous. Now, he talks about the different places where he visits and interacts with the students. The first place is Tripura. Second place is Dindigul in Tamil Nadu, where he goes to attend the 75th anniversary celebrations of St. Mary's School. Next, he visits or he talks about Tezpur in Assam. Tejpur, he goes to attend the convocation ceremony of Tejpur University and to receive his honorary doctorate that was given to him by Tejpur University. Next, he goes to the beautiful state of Jharkhand. And he goes there to this school, Sri Ramakrishna High School in Bokaro. Next, he visits Cuttack, which is in Odisha. He goes there to attend the birthday celebration of late Justice Harihar Mahapatra. And here in Cuttack, his biography in Oriya was also released. Finally, he talks about a place called Anand in Gujarat. Now, these are the questions which are asked to APJ Abdul Kalam by students of different schools in the places that I just mentioned, the states or the places that I just mentioned. So, what was the first question? Who are our role models? Who are terrorists? Why should we dream? Who is the first scientist? Why can't the water from Brahmaputra be diverted to Rajasthan? Why big leaders don't come and talk to us? Why do we have a desert in Rajasthan? Will Agni missile reach America? Which are your favorite books? Who is our enemy? Why are Pakistani weapons stronger than Indian ones? These are the questions which the children asked him in different states. In my next video, I will be discussing these questions and answers in detail. Thank you, all of you. See you in my next video.